You see, back in the days, everyone respected Nokia for their durability. And Nokia was a household name. Everywhere you passed, you hear Nokia 3310. It was very durable. And people have made several videos of how durable this phone is. Nokia was that kind of brand that you would say it was the Apple of those days. Because everywhere you passed, you get a Nokia phone in a household. Now, see something. It was just going on until it started getting rivalries. Samsung and Apple were new to the market. They just came. And these guys started innovating. They started bringing modern ways of designing phones. Now, let me tell you, when this happened, Nokia just stick to the traditional means of making phones, the normal keypads and all that. Whilst Samsung and iPhones were bringing touch screens, smart technology, it was new though, but the world adopted. The world adapted to Samsung and Apple's means of production. But Nokia failed to adapt. And that was what brought about the demise of Nokia. That is why you don't hear of Nokia anymore. But you see, in this modern day and age, I can tell you that a lot of people are doing that, failing to innovate. You see, back in the days, our parents would just make a lot of money from 9 to 5 alone. They could build houses, and most of the big houses that have been built were built by people who were doing 9 to 5 back in the days. But today, the average 9 to 5 can barely feed you. Most of the 9 to 5 that we have are ones that just gives you enough money to feed yourself. And sometimes you can decide to save and all that, but the volume of money you are getting from your 9 to 5 alone, coupled with the fact that it takes all your time, is making it barely difficult for you to function well in this society. You see, maybe we are operating with old manuals. But what if I told you that a lot of the things that we are doing now are on the internet? A lot of the things that make a lot of money are digitalized. You see, so it's very important for the average individual to learn how the systems are operating now. If you want to function very well, if you want to function very well in this modern day and age, you have to learn about systems. You have to even have a very good sense of financial education. You have to know what's financial, how the system works, how taxes work, how passive income works, and all that before you can function very well. That is why it's difficult. You see, a lot of people keep saying the world is hard, things are hard, but just ask yourself, what is the average billionaire doing? What is expensive, the average person buying expensive cars in this modern and age doing? You realize that they know some systems, they know something that is actually putting them on top. The difference is knowledge. If you ask me, the difference is knowledge, what they know and what they're actually doing with their knowledge. That is what is putting them in that position. So just like Nokia, a lot of us have got stuck up to uh, some old ways of functioning, some old means of doing things. And usually societal norms and the conformity that society gives us doesn't necessarily function or doesn't necessarily have your best interest at heart. Most of the time is to keep a status quo. That is, your boss wants you to come to work every day because there's something that he's getting from you. And obviously, you might not be getting your reward as you wanted, but they are getting something from you. So they will preach for you to stay stuck. They will preach for you to just keep working. Yes, what I'm trying to say is, in spite of all the 9 to 5, in spite of all the work that you are doing for others, find time to invest in yourself, find time to innovate, find time to understand the system you are operating in right now. Once you're able to do that, you know that there are several opportunities that your mind might not have crossed. You start exploring all these opportunities, all these different means of making income. So let me say, if you are to start a business right now and you want to reach thousands of customers, you realize that you can't do that just by sitting at one place and telling your friends that if you go somewhere and you find someone who's interested in this, come and buy it. You realize that now you can run ads on social media. Now you can run a lot of adverts here and there on different platforms, which can attract you, which can attract a lot of customers to you. Whether you have a whole warehouse of stocks and all that, you can do adverts on Facebook and it will run. You can actually set the parameters or the kilometers of people or the kilometer range of people who you want to see your advert and purchase from you. So that is how fast the world is evolving, and that is how easy it is to operate in such a world like this. But what happens if you are operating with only the old manual, only what you know? So that means you have to sit at one place, wait for people to buy your stuff. If they don't buy it, and the things are going to be in the market or are going to be in your shop for like 3 months, that means that is it. You are waiting. You see that it will be very difficult for you to operate because now, if you have thousands of goods in your company or in your in your warehouse, they can all be finished in just a week or 2 weeks. It just depends on what you are doing and how you are going about your business. That is for people in the business sector. For those of us in the 9 to 5s and all that, there are a lot of things we can do remotely. Remote jobs. Some of you can go into passive income like content creation. Some of you can go into like business buying and selling. Some of you can go into marketing. There's a whole lot of things people can do to benefit their lives, to change the way they function in this society. And that is why I decided to bring your awareness to this particular content. Because if you fail to innovate, if you fail to actually adapt, you might not function. You will fall out. That is what is happening to so many of us. That is why it's like a struggle. We are struggling so much because we are not actually dictating the change. We are not actually detecting the shifts in things, in terms of technology, in terms of how things have become. Yes. So if you want to make the amount of volumes, the volumes of money that would make you build houses like the early generations or the older generations, sorry, you have to do things differently. That puts you in a place of advantage. That is multiple streams of income, passive income, like income from marketing, income from a whole lot of stuff, income from arts and all that. All these avenues are available. That is why you have to adapt. Look at what is happening around you. Look at how people are actually building careers around marketing, how people are building careers around all these stuff are making people uh are putting people in high positions or putting people in favorable positions to function well in this society. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think in the comment section. How innovative can you be, and what are the things that people can do these days that will put them in a place of advantage over their peers or whoever they are working with? Because it was important for me to bring you this information. Yes, we have to adapt, we have to innovate, we have to do things differently. This is the Mode series. Thank you for watching and listening. The name is Boache, and I'm glad you came around and listened to the thoughtful views I had. Till we meet again, stay safe. Peace.